Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome back to UmmahSpeaks. My name is Maryam and I have my beautiful guests here today. You want to start us off?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nafisa. I'm currently a dental assistant student and I'm excited to be here.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tasneem. I'm currently a sociology student going for teaching InShaaAllah, and I'm also excited to be here.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Nawaal. I'm my last year of sociology and I'm also the VP Communications for MSA, and alhamdulillah, I'm excited to be here as well.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. So this topic, we're discussing Black excellence in the Muslim community. Alhamdulillah. So, last month we just had a Black History Month. I thought it went pretty well. What do you guys think?
I think it went really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it went really well. There was a lot of
stickers.
Hey, those stickers, yeah.
But yeah. The speaker that we had most recently, I feel like that was also really good.
Oh yeah, Imam Yasin Dwyer.
He gave a lot of book recommendations.
Oh,
so
I actually have one of the books he recommended.
No way.
Yeah, I have the Servants of Allah by Sylviane Diouf, I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one I read it, but like,
that's the one we were looking at.
Oh, I can lend it to you guys. I still haven't even opened it, but like,
InShaaAllah.
InShaaAllah. But like in terms of like social media, like how do you guys think like Black History Month was in terms of like the sort of posts and stuff you were seeing and everything like that?
On MSA's part?
Not MSA, but just like in general, just like social media in general.
I feel like other than I feel like Western MSA this year, obviously they stepped up with BSA, and I feel like there was like a lot of coverage on it, and there was like different events, not just like one for like one day. But as for that, like even Western, I didn't see a lot of stuff posted for them.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like MSA did an amazing job, but like social media in general, I really wasn't seeing much. Like on Twitter, Instagram, like not as much as I would have liked to,
People talk about it like the first day, that's it.
That's true. There's that token post at first day of the month, last day of the month, and then nothing in
That's
between.
it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or maybe like even the first week, and then nothing in between.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely see like other heavily Black populated industries. Like, for example, I love basketball, so I'll see like the WNBA and like the NCAA posting lots of stuff and like Black Appreciation Week, talking about Black history, talking about their impact and things they've gone through, and I think that was really amazing. But past that, not too much.
Like not too
It's
much.
like environments that involve a lot of like Black individuals.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's more. We need to see more from other communities that,
especially at like our university,
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, for sure. And this is also why it's important to like not only like recognize like Black excellence within like in the month of February, but just like also outside of it throughout the year. So it doesn't look like it's like tokenism, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this sentiment should also be applied to like other like races who are like sort of like just like seeing everything that Black individuals are doing, whether it be on social media or it be like in the I guess the acting world or the music world or whatever it may be, or even in the Muslim world as well. You guys thoughts on that?
I agree.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like there's also like a lack of communication about it inside like the Muslim community, like the whole like Black History Month. Like obviously, like I said before, Western MSA like stepped up this year, and there was a lot of like discussion about it. But just like generally, you don't hear a lot of like the mosques and stuff like discussing.
I feel like
Black History
it's also because like there's also like so many stereotypes towards like Black people and speaking up. So it's like you want to like not follow that stereotype and be like, hey, what about us? But then you also want to like stand up for yourself,
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to feel included. I know, like we're a very diverse population here in our own community, but I think that even like outside of that, like you see a lot of Middle Eastern appreciation. You see a lot of other groups, but you don't often see like Black appreciation. And I think that's something that's very, even in like the food we you go to, for example, Ramadan's coming up and you go to an iftar and it's the same food every single time. That's a big thing. Like I want to have good food. Like I love like African food and I love our culture and I want to see it more, and it's just something you don't see.
There's just a lack of it inside our community, but it's something definitely that needs to be fixed.
For sure.
Talked about, for sure. I think that's the first step, just talking about it. And like we're obviously doing that here today.
Literally a lack of discussion about it.
Yeah.
But we're bringing this.
We're starting it now.
Yes, we're fixing all the problems.
Us alone.
But like yeah, like I completely agree with what you guys said, and I think you know the first place that should start off is like in the masjid. You know,
100%.
we like everyone goes to the masjid 5 times, or not everyone 5 times a day, but like you know we go to the masjid often. You know, we hear like whether it be khutbas from the imam, or you know you hear maybe like a halaq, or going to a halaq or something like that. I feel like like these sort of discussions about like you know, like not only like black excellence in the Muslim community or black appreciation in the Muslim community, but just like you know, just appreciating all races, just not racism, like
Literally.
you know,
Not just like favoring certain races over the others.
Yeah. Not favoring certain races, and just like also addressing racism, because I feel like
100%.
racism in general is just like a very like when you're talking about racism, like it's just a very like sensitive topic. You don't want to make people uncomfortable, but
Especially in our community.
And it's
kinda, like,
embarrassing
shunned
because it's like we're Muslims and that's like extremely against Islam. So it's like, why is this happening in a Muslim community? Like,
And
make it make sense, you know?
like we were saying before, it's more like of like a culture thing than it actually is for like actual Muslims, because obviously in our religion, like racism is haram, obviously, and I feel like culture-wise, some people are just brought up that way. Like it's like internalized. Sometimes people don't notice it. It might be unconscious, but like
always leads back to the parents.
it always leads back to your. Let me tell you,
It's like
yeah. Even if that's what I was about to say. Like even if a child may not be racist, like openly racist, there's like certain
microaggressions.
Microaggressions is what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like a reflection of education. It's just
100%.
we need to make them not feel uncomfortable, but they should feel comfortable with what they're doing. Like they should feel like, okay, like let's actually work to make change and gain knowledge. You know, we spend so much time like learning knowledge within the messages, within our own communities, but it's like we need to be doing more.
100%.
And that also includes learning more about the different cultures, the different races, and the different people that exist within your own community.
Yeah, like personally, I went to an Islamic school for like most of my life, for like elementary school and some of my high school, and like every time it went around February, like there was no big discussions about anything, you know what I mean? Like until I went to like another high school and like other events, I kind of see it like Western right now, I'm like, oh wow, there's actually like acknowledgement of the month, you know what I mean?
And even outside February.
100%.
It should be all year.
Should be all year.
100%. But then when it's like, I don't know, like, what is the word? When they have, we can cut this part out, but when they have like the thingy, like Somali Day.
Culture Day?
Yeah, like not Culture Day, but like also Independence Day.
Yeah.
Like you'll never like with their Independence Days, there's like heavily focused on. You know what I mean? But like when it comes to any type of Black Independence Day, nothing talked about.
Even like their Independence Day comes with like a lot of like trauma, you know, with the indigenous like tribes and they're just like out here partying, like you know we
That's
founded this
not
thing,
talked
like,
about enough.
100%.
No,
it's
something definitely that needs to be discussed more.
And like just addressed in like wider circles, just like
you have to put people in their place, like Nawaal said. You just have to do it.
Honestly,
it's awkward,
even
but
if it feels uncomfortable, but
and it should just be like us as Black people educating others. It should be like non-Black people, or even like just non-POC in general, or like I guess in a sense the Muslim community, be seen as a minority, but in like within that terms, like those who aren't Black should be educating people.
100%.
It should just be on us to do so.
100%.
Yeah.
Like if you
Don't
see
wait for
someone
us.
doing something wrong,
go educate yourself.
Exactly. If you see someone saying or doing something wrong, like, and you know that's wrong, then you should be calling it out. Like, I don't like when people come back to the Black people and it's like, oh, like this happened.
Yeah.
Like, do you want me to go now and talk to them about it? You know what I mean?
And it always comes back to my friend allows it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, your friend doesn't represent all Black people, or doesn't represent all, like whatever they may be. So that's another huge thing too. It's like you can't go and learn from one person and think that's okay.
100%.
And that friend is just like ruining it for everyone else too.
For
real. You're just putting me in a like
an awkward position.
Yeah, an awkward position because they're just like okay, your friend allowed it, but like
And I think the whole thing of it is just immature. Like
also like as my friend, why are you coming and being like, oh, this person said this, did this, like why didn't you say anything?
Yeah, were you not there at the time?
Speak?
Like I don't understand. Like it's always set on us to like Black people have to be the ones to go and correct them. Like no. And like it may make us look like a bad guy if we're the ones that are going and like correcting, like you said,
which is a stereotype.
Yeah, it makes us look like, oh, like she's just an angry Black girl. When no, we're literally just calling you on the bare minimum. But I feel like you said before, that just needs to be discussed more, so more things are done about it.
Yeah, there's even times where like I've been in groups that like are heavily involved with the masjid, and we'll be talking about, oh, let's have this culture day, or like let's learn more about this culture, or just like let's have a celebration where we have this type of food. And usually I'll speak up and be like, okay, how about this? Like,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't come off as conceited because I'm of that culture or of that race, but it's just a matter of no one ever speaks about it. If I'm suggesting it, it's because I never see it and I would like to see it. And then it always comes down to, but Nawaal, this isn't just for these people. And I'm like, I never said that.
100%.
It's like if you have an event that's targeted towards Middle Eastern people, you're going to get more than that. You're always going to get the whole community coming. But it's when you make it more diverse and open it up to everybody and include everyone in their culture and their identity is where you're going to get people actually coming and enjoying their time.
And that's something a mosque should be like responsible for, you know what I mean? Integrating like everyone's cultures into it. Because obviously, like we said, like Islam is a very diverse religion. So we should be like targeting every single type of like minority.
And it educates people too, like not all black Muslims are from Somalia.
Literally. I'm not even joking.
I mean, I'm personally from Nigeria.
I'm from Sudan.
Yeah, and it's like like the largest amount of Muslims come from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Literally, like,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's just so
Like
embarrassing.
a lot of people don't actually know that. And I'm like,
I actually didn't know that.
I'm like,
I didn't
yo,
know that.
Because I know Somalia
Educate
is like
yourself.
a majority.
they're the most
Muslim country.
religious people in the world.
Yeah.
No one knows that. They could have been like, oh, it's our idea, but like,
we're not ready.
we're not ready. Let me not attack you. Just attack the
No, I agree. I agree about
We're not ready for that combo.
Okay, we're not. We're actually not. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, going back to, like, you know, like, you guys talking about, like, cultural day and, you know, integrating, like, you know, African cultures. Like, African, like, cultures are, like, the most fire cultures.
Thank you.
Like,
Nothing.
like, everybody wants to be us because, you know.
They
we have,
do
like, great
until it
food.
comes to the struggles.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. We're getting too excited. No, but it's facts.
I
though.
love Afrobeats. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Afrobeats is a thing for years.
Yes.
Like,
It's
why are
just
you all of
like-
a sudden?
Like
yeah.
now, all of a sudden, Essence, last. We shouldn't even be discussing this.
Yeah, we really
This is
shouldn't.
literally.
Come on.
Cut this out.
Yeah, there you go.
But they only
Maybe a
appreciate
little
things
segment.
that benefit them. But then when it comes to something that doesn't benefit them, they're like, oh, like, let me not speak. You know, it doesn't involve me. Like, I don't know. I'm not educated on the topic.
100%.
Like,
Everyone
say
say something wrong. And I'm like, I'd rather have you say something wrong than just
Then
like,
at least
not
you
say
try.
anything.
be quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you can always be corrected through like education and through like, you know,
Yeah. Especially
talking
like
to
you're
people or
literally
whatever.
like you see this happening and you come 3 hours later mentioning it to like a black person. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Especially like your black friend. Like, do you not feel awkward about that? Is it not weird? It's just so weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like people just need to grow. Like, informing them on these issues will like actually make them grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the whole BLM protest, I feel like people like tit tap
Yeah.
around black people now.
That's
Oh, yeah.
interesting because remember how heavily populated our Instagram feeds were
Yeah.
in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see that now
At all.
at all.
Now
People
you
just want to
see
go with
tiptoeing around
whatever
it.
trend is.
That's
you know?
literally what it
That
is,
was
a
like trending,
trend.
even though like it was literally like
All those
black guy.
hashtag Blackout
Blackout
Tuesday
Tuesday.
posts
Yeah.
are all archived.
Please.
Blackout Tuesday.
All of them are archived now.
Where is the Blackout Tuesday now?
I know people who still have them, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Like now.
Please, I want to see like
I've seen
actual,
people like
growth.
not repost a thing, but then that day when everyone is reposting
Blackout
like, the
Tuesday,
thingy,
everyone.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
now what?
and I've never seen like like something like that go like that big. Where like people who literally again never post anything
In
or
their
posting
lives.
it. Yeah, people
Yeah.
who like never post on Instagram. Period.
Period.
Like had that on their.
Let alone their
pages.
Instagram story, they had it on their pages, maybe for like 4 hours, and then they archived.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or no,
that's
they kept them. I know people to this day.
I know
who
some people
still
that-
have
yeah.
them up, and I'm like,
But like, what do you
wow.
do for the community?
What do you? Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
do now?
It's more than a post.
Yeah.
It really is.
100%.
And it's usually like those sort of people that have like large platforms or just like, you know, a lot of power, and like they have like, you know, the power and the platform to like talk about these sort of things, and you know, to educate maybe people like their followers or whatever, or like, you
Yeah.
know, people that surround them.
Let me just say, I know the type of person, based on their Instagram, I could tell
Yeah.
the type of person a person is. You know what I mean? Like,
I
just-
hate when people don't post stuff. Like, even if you think it's not going to do anything, it will
Yeah.
do something. It will.
There are always it's just always this argument where it's like, oh, well, my account is private and I have 300 followers. Like, what is this gonna do?
Like,
Or,
that's-
and I'm like, sometimes I'm informed about issues around the world
Yeah.
on like Nafisa and Nawaal stories. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I see these things reposted. I'm like, oh, I didn't see what went on, or like this thing that happened to this country. Like, let me repost this. Let me read this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or it's like where it's like, oh, but I don't really have people. I think most times assume that we target like non-POC, and so I'm like, no, it's for everybody to know and learn. Like if you share with somebody who might be literally the same culture or the same race as you, might not know about it.
Mhm.
And it could be about anything.
100%.
It could not limited to black people. Literally any post and be like, well, I only have this type of followers. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
They're not going to watch it.
But then they're the first to post the hashtag
What?
that let's talk. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
What is the point of that anyway? But let's talk.
I see that every single year. Every person on my timeline is reposting it, and I'm just like, what is this doing? Like, what is this doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's for like mental health, but
Are we talking?
like, are we talking? You don't post anything
Yeah.
throughout the year, but you're posting this. Like, oh, hashtag that let's talk. Everything's solved.
No, the whole, like, everything you do right now is on social media, so posting makes a difference. No matter, like,
100%.
how hard you try to convince yourself, I don't have followers, no one's going to see it. They're going to see it, it's going to make a difference. Just post.
And
That's
maybe
it.
that one person who will see it and be like, wow, like I'm so glad they shared this, and actually will learn and do something with that knowledge that they have,
Exactly.
which is like, mashallah, like that's really the goal and what you want.
Yeah.
And even if you like, I spam my stories of like different things, and I remember people I used would be like so low, and I didn't care.
Mhm.
It's the intention you're making to post it, to share the knowledge and to share what's happening, not because you want this person or that person to see
Yeah.
it.
Like to care on certain people, like viewing your stories, like, oh, I don't want them to unfollow me because they're spamming my stories. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's just like,
I remember
Grow up.
getting people unfollowing me. I didn't care. I was like,
no,
okay.
literally. There's always at least that one person that's like, oh, I didn't even know this was going on.
Like, what are
And
you
they
doing?
repost
It's
it.
not going to make a difference. Like, it is. What are you doing? I'm doing something. I'm trying to educate people.
Like, what do you even have Instagram for? Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
follow MSA.
Yes. Follow up aside. But just like shift gears a little bit, like, you know, the topic is, you know, Black appreciation and Black excellence in the Muslim community. So I feel like, just like, cause we're like on the social media topic now, when we talk about like Black appreciation, like I feel like we talk about it like a lot on the social media, and like, you know, we see all these like, you know, influencers, like, I don't know, like Jackie Aina or
I love Jackie.
Oh my God, girl, I love Jackie. I can talk about her for hours. I love her.
Yeah.
She taught me everything I know. Jackie, I know.
Jackie.
No idea.
She literally raised me.
But like in the Muslim context, like I feel like we're just like we don't get a lot of like recognition in general.
And there's so many.
There are so many.
So
There's like
many.
Aisha Haroon, which I know all of you guys follow.
I love her.
Yeah,
She's literally my mom.
I know. Broke Aisha, if you're watching this, we love you.
I'm gonna repost this on my story and tag her.
I know.
As if she's gonna see it. I literally love her.
I was actually talking to my friends the other day.
deleting all of her like.
Oh, yeah,
I
and
saw
from
that the
her.
other day.
Is it
Oh,
what's all that thing?
Batul
That
Ghazi,
was oh
her
what.
Instagram handle is Basma.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. But anyways, but yeah, her deleting it was like really.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Like it influenced a lot of small creators to do the same.
Even big creators.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's so many.
Bilqis and Batuli.
100%.
We saw them last weekend, and
Yeah.
we already
I
knew
saw that.
Bilqis, but I followed Batuli for a while, but I'd actually never met her, and I'm talking to her, and
Yeah.
it was actually like so
She's so
interesting
nice.
to hear
Wait,
their
did they come to
experiences.
Canada or did you guys go to America?
They came
No, she
to
came to Canada.
Okay.
They were like, they came for a tournament, which is actually, I don't know if you're Fitria, but she runs the Muslim Women's Summer Basketball League, and it's like an organization, which they do a lot more than that, but
Yeah.
it was her tournament along with hijabi welders. So it was pretty cool. They had Canada basketball there, like it was really amazing.
It was actually good
And
together.
yeah, so they'll play for our team.
Oh, they also had Sister Digital Hood there.
Digital sisterhood.
Did you guys
yes.
meet them?
Stop.
Yeah.
They had a whole
That's also another
That's also
black
another
excellence
one.
right
They were
there.
actually there.
Yeah.
Now they're in the UK.
Bro, I was like,
Yeah.
can I have a 0.5?
You're so lucky. I love that.
Mashallah, amazing people. But
Mashallah.
to talk to them, we were talking to them just for like about everything.
It's just so mesmerizing talking to different people from different places.
100%. And it's always, and I always love hearing people's stories. And there's a lot of things I didn't know. Like I was learning them from Batum, and I'm like, wow, like this is amazing. And so she is an amazing person. She played basketball at UConn, which for anyone that watches like NCAA, like that is an amazing team. Like they're top 10, 100%. So in all of America. So an amazing team, and she's just an amazing person. And even now she goes and she helps back in Africa and like does so much like philanthropy and in the US and like mashallah. So her and Billy's and you know Billy's and her like story and her struggles, like it makes you really appreciate being black, because also like seeing them and how like subhanAllah, like how far they've come, and also like the path Allah took them on and how it's changed them for the better. Insane.
Genuinely,
like,
mashallah.
Yeah, very proud of them. So
nothing other than inspirational.
100%. Like I definitely see them as like my top role models for sure.
I'm actually really sad that like, you know, Bilqis had to like leave London in general, just because like she was such an amazing role model, and we need those sort of role models.
She's literally our mentor.
And we didn't have people like that in our community
at all.
Like she went out of her way to try to make like basketball leagues for like girls and boys and even moms. You know what I mean? Like, she implemented everyone. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
yo, one of them smacked me so hard. What?
I used to scorecard the games, and moms are actually good.
Yeah, they get into it.
Moms are ballers, but just so much with the small time she was here. Like she did so much, like so much more than you see. Like you know what I mean? Like the Mosque's been here for how long?
Right.
She's been here for this short amount, and like she's changed for the better.
Barakallah feel like I feel like since she left, the whole London community has gone so much closer. Like
we've gotten closer, but now we just have like a lack of events.
But I think like it's like there's still a lot of community outreach and a lot of community work being done even after they left. So I don't know.
London Royals.
I feel like there's like a lot more like sports engagement.
Yeah.
Like, before she was here, like
none.
Especially for Muslim
and
like
for
women.
sisters. There was nothing.
Absolutely.
I mean, for us, we played Royals, which was like the first Muslim like basketball
But
team.
Bilqis was there during that time too.
Yeah.
Like, before COVID, we literally had nothing. Sunday ball.
That's
it.
That's literally it. And even then, like nobody came.
Yeah.
She like kind of made everyone. Like even girls that didn't play basketball, like she'd be like, "Come on." She like mentored so much girls, taught them how to play basketball.
And like
and also brought them to the religion, like while they were playing basketball. You know, like she'd stop and say, "Guys, it's too prayer time." You know, boys tournament. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like skipped over. She'd grab out the prayer mats. They'd all pray Jama'ah. She like tried her best to implement the Islamic like values and morals into her leagues.
So very, very
love ya.
I'm just gonna tag her in this specific part of it.
She better repost it.
Aisha Harun, right? We were talking about like I'm not gonna say their names, but they're these like Middle Eastern like influencers, right? Very famous. Love their videos so much, and their videos are very similar to like Aisha Harun's, right? So I was like, do you guys know Aisha Harun? They're like, who's that? And my no, like my friends.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just so sad how like they don't know there's so many black influencers
because like
that are so like inspirational.
Like for her specifically, like she's been in the game for influencing for so long. Like
12 years.
Yeah, for literally 12 years. Even Bilqis, like these people have been doing this for so long, like putting in their work, like doing all these programs,
you know what the funny
all
thing
that,
is?
and like they barely get the recognition that they deserve. You know,
Yeah, like even if you look at their
Bilqis just got verified, like just recently just got verified, and throughout all the stuff that she's done and been through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even Aisha, like not a lot of people talk to her.
She has like 400K only.
Yeah, and
that is not like I'm sorry.
And that is like you know what I mean?
Much.
Like the amount of people that talk about her and the amount of like
that's
work
what
and
I'm
time she's
saying.
put in is just
400K is good, but like for the amount of work that she does,
she's been in the game for
someone
years.
else that's not black could get that in like a week for
she's
doing
been
like
in the game for years.
I think
those like dumb YouTubers, bro. Like do like ridiculous stunts.
I know.
And
like Alex Earl,
millions of.
Don't add.
We're not adding. We're
not calling them out, but
it's not fair. Like, she puts so much effort.
White creators just get more recognition.
Not even just white. No, like.
No, I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Because I feel like there's a lot of like Arabs that get that like appreciation, everything. Yeah.
For sure.
Something that needs to be discussed more.
Like there's a difference between being POC and being a black person.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like black people, I feel like they just have it so much worse. Like alhamdulillah, like I feel like for us, because we are in Canada, even though Canada is terrible,
no, like a lot of people put Canada's like obviously America is like
they just show it. Canada,
but America's like Canada's like a America's right here, Canada's right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
My mom will like swear that like Canada is way better than America and we're safe here and blah blah. But I'm like, look at the stuff that happens
I
around
know.
Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
Like, alhamdulillah, but like,
alhamdulillah, we're safe now. But like, you know what I mean?
You
like,
never know.
you guys just got a prayer room.
truly.
Like an extra prayer. I don't know why I'm saying you guys. We all just got.
Before
we all just got
only.
another prayer room, and like, how much work did you have to put in just for that? You know what I mean?
Literally decades of work.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous.
It's exhausting.
But yeah, they don't get enough appreciation. Black influencers
Mhm.
everywhere.
And they definitely do. Half the time their content is better than like other people's.
Oh,
It's so nice. It's so beneficial too. You learn so
Yeah.
much from it.
Bro, even Monet Michael,
Love her.
love her.
Yeah.
And the other girl that like reviews the foundations. Like Gloria, she just got verified.
Oh my God,
Same thing with Monet
Gloria.
Michael. She just got verified. Like they were not verified for the longest times.
You guys know
She's so
Naima or Naima?
I think so.
I think if I saw her face, I probably know her.
You probably will.
Yeah.
Should I pull it out, okay?
No.
She's
Follow her
amazing,
now.
y'all. Like there's so many. We can just add them all. Wallahi,
Yeah.
their videos are so nice.
Yeah.
They're so beneficial.
And I feel like just watching those videos, like you really feel seen.
Even
Yeah.
Because they're really putting you like putting us Black Muslims out there.
yeah, even like the smaller creators. Like we always talk about Sadka,
Oh, 100%.
and like she is like a. I wouldn't say she's small. Like she's actually very widely
Like she's
known.
obviously grown, now, but she started off on TikTok.
Started off on TikTok, yeah, and like has now used the platform for amazing things, and is a huge advocate for Muslims and a huge advocate for Black people as well. And it just is so amazing because we never had this growing up. I used to watch Bethany Moda.
Oh my god.
Oh, like I used to watch Emma Chamberlain. I still watch Emma Chamberlain, but still,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Alicia Marie, or what's her name?
Yeah,
Something like that.
So like to see like the change and the shift and like the confidence that we're giving, like not we but like us, you know, providing like being able to give those girls
The
a
support,
platform
yeah.
and like
Yeah.
supporting them, like allows them to do more for us. Like I just love that.
Like something that also isn't talked about or even addressed in general is just like, you know, Black shuyukh, you know? We talk about like mashallah like Dr. Omar Suleiman, we talk about Mufti Mang, you know, all that, but like there's mashallah so many like good, amazing like Black shuyukh in the Muslim community, and they're making so many like contributions to the Muslim community in general. And we just like we don't like talk about them.
Yeah.
You know? They're not getting enough recognition that they deserve.
No
Yeah.
discussion whatsoever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And their lectures are so nice and so beneficial.
Yeah, for sure.
And relatable.
Were you remember Omar Shukri at RAS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Love his lectures.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, you should check them out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and the other thing was like he makes you feel uncomfortable in a good way, like in a way where you're like, oh, I actually need to step back, look at where I am and what I know, and then learn from that.
Mhm.
Like, mashallah, like he
Yeah.
really did change the game.
And he also does like spoken word as well.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
very talented.
how many of you do you know that do both like, you know, lectures and like spoken words?
That is
true.
Like mashallah.
Mashallah.
And then there's also like Sheikh Abdullah Duro from Yaqeen Institute. Like he does like a lot of like amazing content on Yaqeen as well, which I personally like enjoy watching. And mashallah, he's also like a reader.
Mashallah.
I actually
Yeah.
know that.
I think
He's a
it's
reader. He's a
actually-
reader. He read it like I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago. Yeah, but like you know, you read it and you know, and look at where he is now.
Yeah.
You know, literally educating so many different Muslim populations across the world.
I love his relationship with Muslim though. I can't lie. Like that.
It's so cute.
Ping pong tennis.
Yeah, like, I was like when I'm playing basketball, he's like, I know I can smack you right now.
Oh, what's the chefs in playing ping pong?
I don't know. Or she's playing basketball.
Basketball. They're so
Basketball.
obsessed with
I'm like,
basketball.
they're actually.
I think it's like an old man sport.
Who else?
Siraj Hajj.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
I love
I
that.
listen to him as often, but like I also heard that he's like an amazing guy, and I think
Yeah.
he knows like a lot about like you know, like this Muslim, like Black Muslim history
Mhm.
as well. Like I've heard that he does like a lot of like mashallah good, really good lectures and
Remember
insightful
when he
lectures.
came for
He was at
50th?
RAS too.
Yeah, he did Jumu'ah prayer.
Mhm. His recitation is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Speaking
Oh my
of
goodness.
recitations, remember that one Sudani?
Black recitation period. Sudan
Yeah.
recitation, I'm not gonna lie, I can talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But even
Mashallah.
small things, like you'll see them dominating. I'm sorry. I love my Somali people, but he was gonna dominate in the Quran competition. I won't lie.
No, they do.
They all have
Young,
that.
like the young Somali kids. MashaAllah, he'll be like 6 years old and be like, yeah, I'm going to some like a competition. I'm like,
And they'd be doing like, wow, most intermediate level, you know what I mean?
like,
Yeah, because we were like, we had like we would go halakha like what 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah, and like we started young too, you know what I mean? Like your
Yeah.
parents put you in when you're like, you could talk. Like I'm not even joking.
And it's like,
as
you're
they
like-
should.
Yeah, and they make it like okay,
It's like fun.
it's fun in the sense
Yeah.
where it's like you like it's competition between you and your friend. It's like okay, I want to learn.
Like now if we're doing a competition, it's not like it's
Yeah.
something where it's like, it's not like something we're shunning, but it's just like something where it's like, okay, like we have all these other things in our lives right now, and it's like something that's like, we're like we have to do this and it's on our plate. But like when we were kids, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like it was something
Yeah.
that we actually like loved doing, and like we used to be excited for it because we knew we were gonna win.
And remember the dessert parties?
Yeah, and like you would like want to finish it just for what, like a slice
To
of pizza?
celebrate.
Like,
That's so cute.
half a slice of pizza.
But if it was like if she finished, we're all celebrating.
Oh, that's so cute.
So fun.
That's so cute. I feel like that's how it should be.
I love the Somali like community.
100%. I was literally talking to my mom about this the other day, and it's like a known like when you look at like the statistics and everything, like Somalia, like they have the strongest religion in the world. Like it's the like #1 religious country in the world, and they're on their deen, mashallah, you know. Like, one time for Somalia.
Still with the smallest in this city. I'm joking. I'm joking. Cut that out.
We're gonna cut that out.
Smallest in this westernized society.
Don't say
No,
that.
you can't say that. You're gonna get canceled.
How was Somali gonna get?
I would literally, as if there's any Somalis looking on the MSA's page. But anyways, let me move on.
But yeah,
Let me move.
what were we talking about? Black Muslim reciters.
Yeah.
They're so good, and they.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that one from Sudan that like passed away a couple years
Yeah,
ago.
Muhammad is Zayn, you know?
I
Allah
love
from
his
Akhtar though,
recitation.
bro. His recitations were beautiful.
He was praised all
He was
around
supposed
the
to come
world.
to the
He was
mosque recently.
obsessed.
I had to cancel.
I don't remember. Suraj Hajj.
Oh,
We were just talking
about
about
that.
But
He
what's
came
it
for the
called?
50th anniversary of LM.
Yeah, you
Yeah. Bro,
You
Sudanese
missed it.
community is obsessed with him here.
So
Sudanese
A
community
few years
in
ago.
London, obsessed with him because he used to come to LMM like a
a
lot.
lot. I remember that, and my dad loves it too. He used to come for like our fundraising dinners.
Light flex, but my uncle used to live with him in New York back in the day, so like we're kind
Wow.
of besties.
You should invite him for MSA.
I know I should, right? Next time.
Shut up, man.
Next time.
You guys better all be going.
But like, mashallah, if you just look at the greater like Black Muslim population, like we've like made so many contributions like throughout history, right? Like from the time that we had the black slaves were moved to the Americas. Like I feel like black slaves, like the Muslim slaves, were pretty much the reason, or not pretty much reason, but like one of the contributing reasons why like significant reason why like Islam even came to the Americas in the first place, right? And like they established it and they spread it and they maintained it for such a long period of time. And like mashallah, coming like Black Muslims we have, like,
Yeah.
not only just from Africa but like African American Muslims,
Yeah.
and their families have they maintained Islam in their families for generations on end. And that's like such a mashallah powerful thing to see.
Yeah.
Especially in America, like the amount of reverts is like beautiful, mashallah.
And what Imam Yasin talked about Muhammad Ali's funeral.
Yeah.
That was like, and like the way like almost everyone was there. And
Like tuning in online.
Exactly, and it was the most watched live stream funeral, and it was like a Muslim funeral. Like that is a big thing, especially like
His name, first of all.
yeah.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. Like.
Another thing, like how his like star isn't on the floor, it's the only one on the wall.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mashallah, like he's a very prominent figure that definitely changed the game for Muslims, and he, brought Islam to a level that it definitely hasn't been brought up to before.
100%. Like I know a lot of like creators that we see now. Sometimes like when you become more famous, you sort of like lose your religion, or it kind of like slips away from you. Sometimes consciously and unconsciously.
Yeah.
But I feel like we said before, Muhammad Ali is the person that kept it on the pedestal throughout the whole time, and like his religion was a big part of his career. And I just feel like that's something that like, you know what I mean, we should
Even,
be
like-
looking up to.
Yeah, like I remember like watching it was on Instagram and like he was doing an interview with like some like white reporter or something like that, and then
I saw
he was
that.
like, "Oh, how come you don't have any like bodyguards?" And he was like, bodyguards. Like I have Allah.
Yeah.
Right? I was just like, yo, like to say that on like he was watching
On national TV.
Like,
And he was
I'm
huge.
usually,
Like he's not a normal stranger. Like
Especially in like our westernized society, like so much celebrities try to like downgrade the Islam and like they kind of get caught up in it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like for him, he just always had it.
yeah.
Someone to look for. Like,
Yeah. And especially during everything happening in that time against black people, and for him to do that not only as a black person but as a Muslim, next level.
Okay, I think on top of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X for sure.
I feel like he grew up in a tough neighborhood and he grew up like obviously having to hustle for himself to like provide for himself, and he ended up in jail, and in jail he learned about Islam. And obviously back then it was the Nation of Islam, but he grew, and I feel like I don't know.
It's honestly like, because it's the path Allah takes you through. Like once again, like you know, subhanAllah, like if he never went to jail, he may had never like learned about Islam.
black Muslims that revert in Islam in jail and everything.
So
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Like in his book, all he talked about was the only thing you could really do in jail back then was read. You know what I mean? And he read a lot. He learned about Islam, and his brothers were trying to teach him about Islam, and he taught a lot of the other men in jail about Islam. And obviously now he became this big leader that everyone looks up to, and he's a big role model. And I just feel like that's just a powerful story. Like Nawaal said before, like the path that Allah takes you through. Obviously, he grew up in like a really tough neighborhood. He had to hustle for himself, and he went through a lot of hardships in life. But it led him to become a leader for all these other people. And
Yeah.
InShaaAllah, he gets rewarded for that. But
Yeah, and even like Imam Yassine was talking about how, you know, when you go to Brooklyn and New York, there's a lot of Omars, Rashids, like you can tell like exactly like it's gone from generation to generation, and like mashallah, a lot of them are still Muslim. And then same thing we were talking about before, like in prisons, even today, like there's a growing number of Muslims in prisons because again that's their avenue to learn.
Yeah.
And
100%.
so
You're like lonely, so you have that like you build that one-on-one connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
yeah, and like there's like different, like there's so many religions for them to explore, like obviously like Christianity, like Judaism, but then coming to Islam like really says something.
I thought that he was using his platform and his intelligence to kind of build a pathway for a lot of the black Muslims that like a lot of the black people didn't even know what Islam was back then. And, you know what I
I
mean?
feel like it's like he's building a pathway back to Islam, because like the
Back to
generation
Islam.
before they knew Islam, but obviously with like all the slavery and everything that got taken
And
away
he
from
was
them.
one of the only
That's
like
true.
significant leaders that like combated the internalized racism in the Islamic community. Like, you know how he was basically combating for the black community when they were going through the racism, but and like his speeches that he would bring to the black community, but he would also implement Islam and how like Muslims don't believe in hate and how we're taught to love everyone, and like
Especially through a tough time, like having something to fall back on and having that be Islam is amazing. Like that's something that's like we can't even begin to imagine like what black people were going through at that time. So it's like to really like rely on your faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like shows great strength in that community.
100%.
And even like the trip that he took for Hajj as well.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember like too much about like the details and stuff, but like I just remember him commenting on just like, you know, the scene at like at the Kaaba, you know, when everyone's making tawaf and stuff, and like you just see so many people from like all walks of life,
And
they're
everyone
all
treating each other the same.
treating her the same, and they're all like focused on one goal, and that's worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and like nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Like
know.
at the end of the day, like he believed, which is what like all Muslims should believe, that like all brothers and sisters are the same. Like we're not all like there's no hierarchy in Islam at all, with race, with minority, with nothing. Like we're all in the same boat. We're all slaves of Allah at the end of the day. And I feel like he implemented that in his platform, like we said before.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's definitely a big role model.
someone we should all aspire to be.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, khair.
Allah yarhamu.
But yeah, alhamdulillah, this was a really, really great conversation. I feel like we were kind of all over the place, but like it was meaningful. Mashallah, it was like very meaningful, like
In a good way.
conversation in a good way, in a good way. Because there's a lot to talk about with a topic like this.
going if you wanted.
We can go on for days.
You just have a limit.
Honestly, let's do part 2 as well. Like we can keep it going, but like
love us,
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
we'll be back. But yeah,
Like we said, actually, it's not even Black History Month. But
it's
like
not
we
black.
said-
But that's
Like we
It's not
said
Black
before,
History
like we should, like, we should be having these things throughout the whole year, not just like post history.
doesn't need to be
History
Black
Month.
History Month.
Yeah, it doesn't need to look. Which is why, like, you know, I sort of like was like, let me just do this episode like outside of Black History Month to make a
Outside.
point. to make a point that we don't necessarily need to be having these conversations during Black History Month.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah, alhamdulillah. But
Make
like,
it known.
mhm.
Make it known.
Well, yeah, jazakallah khair, guys, for coming on here. You know, we really appreciated hearing your voices and you know, hearing your perspectives. Alhamdulillah. And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next. Come back for part 2, but we'll see you in the next episode.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. UmmahSpeaks out.